it takes me all night long, gonna get my drink on. Drink on. Yeah. I'm gonna get my drink on.
Okay, this is the Beer Hour with Trevor Gold and Al Money. And we have somebody new in the studio today. We decided to hire our own intern. He decided not to have a name on the show, so we're just going to call him Intern. He is our bitch. He will get us beer. Any words for you there, Al?
You're doing just fine.
Okay. We actually have a few points of interest on the show today. I remember
which this is an upgrade from last show.
Last show was completely about nothing. It was a trial run to see if we could actually just get it on the internet, which we did. The show is now on mypodcast.com. Great little free place to get podcasts. One good thing about the show is that it's free, and we drink beer, if you haven't got around to the title. Okay, like I was saying, on the show today, and our before I get into it, is this gonna be like a bi-weekly show, a monthly show, a weekly show, a daily show?
Well, it's not going to be daily, unless. Well,
I had one idea, and here was one idea I had. To do the show more weekly, and if we can't get everybody together, we can do a short little version. Then I'll just throw little tidbits out there by myself. But that might not be very fun. That was just an idea. Throwing it out there. I want to focus maybe bi-weekly. More focused on the bi than the weekly.
Yeah, we could do that. It's just our schedules have to work, and
yeah,
it's not exactly.
Yeah, I'm actually working now, other than writing jingles in the basement. Oh, was that almost beer coming out of your mouth there?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, I decided to get away from the jingles, and I'm actually working for a company now that specializes in electronics, media. It's pretty much like your typical media convenience store, but I do deliveries now. Doing a lot of lifting of heavy appliances. We do washers, dryers, dishwashers, TVs, refrigerators, the whole deal.
Blah blah blah.
Exactly. It's a lot of driving around, shooting the shit while you're,
Yeah.
You see a lot of scenery, a lot of animals, a lot of turkeys out there now.
So, getting on to the show, do we have any news?
Okay, yeah.
Because we actually prepared for this show today.
Semi-prepared. Like 5 minutes ago we were prepared. It's like a 5-minute briefing.
No, we're like totally prepared.
No.
Remember, you're the tree, I'm the branches, the intern's the leaves. We went through this.
We have no roots. We're not a big tree.
We're building for the future.
Yeah.
Like, you plant us now, and we're one of them slower growing trees.
We're like a sapling. You cut it off, the big tree.
Like 15 times, and it just keeps growing back. That's what we are.
Yeah.
We're like a wart. You ain't gonna get rid of us.
But anybody that happened to tune into last week's show, which I checked the numbers, we had 3 downloads. 2 of them were me. So that means it's a total of 1 download, which is a friend of mine in the Twin Cities, which, hey.
Who was it?
The Twin Cities.
Who was it?
Let's just say, remember the story we told about Stewie Bushman? It was S-Man at the time, but it is Stewie Bushman. He's part of our show now. He's actually our call guy.
Yeah.
Remember the story about him waking up in the middle of the night just going, fucking going.
Yes.
It was that guy's house. It was that guy. He lives in the Twin Cities now.
Oh, really?
Yeah. He actually stole our idea. He's a valet.
You're shitting me.
He has his own parking lot where all he does is sit there, play on his laptop. Somebody pulls in. He takes the cars,
What kind of
parks them.
tips do you get for something like that?
I think he makes like $12, $15 an hour.
And then tips on top of that?
I don't know if he makes tips.
Why wouldn't you tip? You got to tip a valet, not?
Well, maybe he can let us know himself. We do have an email address for the show.
Okay, let's explain this to our viewers. We're not exactly people from a city. We're not exactly loaded. So when we ask about tipping, we need to know feedback. So if you listen to this, please just email us.
Just remember, we're backwoods Southern boys.
Exactly. We're backwoods Southern boys. We're not used to this whole, what you got to tip. I mean, besides at a restaurant where you tip obviously 1%, that's like the standard. We don't know what it is, what you tip for getting a massage, a regular massage, or what you would tip a valet, or what you would tip elevator man. We don't know what that is.
For
or somebody who brings your bags to your room.
It depends.
We don't
With the
know.
massage, do you get the happy ending?
No,
or
I
do you
said a
just have
regular one.
Oh, a
Listen.
regular massage.
No, we don't. What do you tip to something like that? You can't percentage that out. What do you do? Just throw a 20 spot down or what? What would you, in turn, what would you do? A massage, a really good 40-minute back and arm rub. What would you give?
Depends on the price of the massage.
You don't know the price. You pay for the price. You pay for it afterwards. It's a pretty classy place. What would you tip?
Oh, a good massage is about 10 to 15.
10 to 15?
Good opinion. Give me a beer.
I would drop a 20. What would you drop, Trev? You drop a 20 spot on that?
Yeah.
Because the first time I went, I didn't realize you were supposed to tip them. And after I found out you were, I felt so bad. I realized I'm never going back to that place ever again because I don't want to feel the humiliation.
Was she any good looking?
Well, I'll tell you what. If
No,
anybody,
she wasn't, but it's, I don't know.
you know
Well,
what?
of course, if she's, obviously, if she's really good looking, you're going to tip. I would have tipped if she was really hot, don't get me wrong.
I've got an idea. If anybody's out there is listening to the show, the one person, if you have any opinions, we have an email address. It's called thebeerhour@hotmail.com. Really easy to remember. That's TheBeerHour at hotmail.com. That's HOTMAIL.com. That was a good opening. That was a good opening line. Let's
Take a break.
take a quick break to hear a word from our sponsor.
If it takes me all night long, gonna get my drink on. Drink on. Yeah. I'm gonna get my drink on.
Okay, and we're back. And during the break, we had a little discussion. We were thinking, got a great thing for anybody who's listening out there who wants to throw out an email on our new email address. Name our intern.
Oh, sweet.
That's a great idea. We should really get a name for our intern. Right now, he's just the intern, Mr. Beer intern. So if you can think of anything interesting, that'd be great.
Ah, sweet.
All right. Well, we do, as I said earlier, we do have actually something of interest on the show.
Yeah, why don't you do some news?
Okay.
You got anything
Let's
over there?
let's break into the news, shall we?
Dun, 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 dun.
All right, detectives in Franklin County, Washington said a man had his friend shoot him in the shoulder to get him out of work. And all I can say to that is, whatever happened to faking a cough? Honestly. I mean, you ever just call in sick to work and
No, I never have. I'm more the guy who goes to work sick or unsick. Just for the fact I enjoy getting up every morning at 5 a.m. to go to work. It's enjoying. It's really, I like it.
go to hell. All right, our second point of discussion here. A robber in Des Moines, Iowa walks away from a convenience store with over $100 but leaves behind his hat and jacket. In the jacket contained his W-2 form with all his name, social security number, all his information. Let's just say it took the cops about 5 minutes to find out who it was.
Wow. How could you do that? If you're going to rob a convenience store, don't you think you would have enough brains to... I can't even explain how stupid somebody has to
Not
be.
that we promote robbing a convenience store.
Because we don't.
Rob a bank.
Yeah, if you're gonna rob anything, you might as well make it worth your while. That $100 he stole, shit. That won't even buy him a shit-ass lawyer to... It won't even buy him a whore, will it?
Depends where you go.
No, but will it? $100 buy you a whore these days?
Like I said, it depends where you go.
Intern?
What do you tip a whore?
Good question. What do you tip a whore? What would you tip a prostitute? Do you tip them anything? Or do you just give them the flat rate? Do they charge by the hour?
I was just about to say that. Do they charge?
Because if they
It
charge
depends.
by
If they
the
charge
hour,
by the
you know
hour.
what? They're getting screwed in my deal.
Well, actually, if they charge by the hour, I'm the one getting screwed because it's only going to take me 8 minutes.
On a good day.
But then I'm going to want to cuddle afterwards. And that'll cost you extra.
I'm more the, let's do it, screw the foreplay, let's get it over with, I'm going to watch some TV. That's me.
Okay, and that was the news for this section here. Most of our news is going to be weird, funny, semi-humorous news, unless there's something extremely good. Oh, I did hear that the presidential face-off in Ohio has heated up into a Cleveland steamer.
Oh, that's funny. That's funny.
Al, I remember in our first show, you mentioned your favorite can cooler, because I have the Miller High Life hat. Oh, he's starting to tear up. He really loved that can cooler. And we were at the Super Bowl party. It was a great Super Bowl party. Who won the Super Bowl, by the way?
Giants.
Yes, the Giants won the Super Bowl. It was amazing. But if you can just hold it together for 5 seconds, what happened to your can cooler? Because I don't even know the whole story. Greatest can cooler in the world, by the way.
Well, I had it. I was using it to drink, of course. And somehow it got away from me, and somebody... The intern, I believe, had it. If I remember right, the intern had it. I let him have it for a while. We fought about it. I let him have it. Later on, it's sitting on the table with his beer in it. So I believe I tried ripping his beer out of it, but I couldn't do it in time before he realized. And I didn't want to break the can cooler because it meant something to me. So later on, I caught him away from it again. So then I ripped it out. And this other character that was there decided to jump in on the festivities. Needless to say, at the end of the night, wasn't even the end of the night, but my can cooler got ripped in two. It is split. I will one day find another can cooler as good as that one. I understand that I'm young, I have time to do it. It's just that one meant a lot to me because it was in my youth. And it had my name on it.
And with that, we're going to give a shout out to the beer we are drinking tonight. We're actually drinking beer on the show.
Yes, we are. No lie tonight.
Yeah, the intern was gracious enough to pick up a case of what beer?
Busch Light.
That's right, Busch Light.
Busch.
Now, the last show, I do remember a certain conversation that we had about chewing tobacco. And we found out a few things. I remember, if I can quote Al, he said...
No.
He said
no,
Kodiak.
it's not me. Okay.
He said Kodiak, strongest chew around. Prove me wrong. Well, we had just heard that the strongest chew is in fact Skoal.
No. Depends
Yes.
what kind of Skoal. Because there's only two kinds of Skoal that are strong.
And what are those?
Mint and wintergreen.
And what comes in right behind Skoal?
I don't even remember.
Copenhagen. What comes in right behind Copenhagen?
Kodiak?
Yes, you're right.
Yes. There's the intern. Plug in the Kodiak. And the only reason he's doing that is because he stole it from somebody because he's too cheap to buy it.
It works for me.
Hey,
And it
I'll
does
tell you
work
what,
for
though.
me.
me and the intern had a good night the other night, last Friday. We decided to actually Al was actually out at this place, one of our friends' place earlier. They were playing bags, right? In the bag toss last Friday.
Yes, we were. Yes.
Actually, it'd be the Friday before last, I guess, if you want to talk about where we're at in the week. But
Were we
that's
kinda
not important.
kicking ass that night, too?
Yeah, we were pretty dominant that night, me and the whole intern.
Well, I wasn't there at that point. I
Yeah,
got there right in the
you
time.
missed it.
I was there right in time to play Mexican, but which Mexican is otherwise referred to as.
You could call it liar's dice.
Liar's dice. There you go.
So other than Mexican, it's called liar's dice for those who are offended by the term Mexican. I don't know why you would be.
Why do both you fuckers look at me when we say it, when the word Mexican comes up? Okay, I am not Mexican. During the summer, I get a sweet-ass tan, okay? I tan so great.
He's the
It
only
makes-
Mexican golfer on the course, I swear to God.
No, I'm not Mexican. I just tan really well. And these guys, ever since I was in high school, I get referred to as a Mexican because I played football. And when I was in my football jersey, I'd always have my skin got so dark during the summer. And when we had blue and white jerseys, so when we'd wear the white away jerseys, my skin was so dark, it wouldn't put me next to an African American, but it would put me next to a Mexican. So they right away accused me of being a Mexican. And ever since then, I've still been being accused of a Mexican. I'm not Mexican. I am actually German and Polish. But they like to refer to me as the Mexican bandit. No, I'm just kidding.
The band.
But no, they do. Every time the word Mexican comes up, I am usually the butt of the joke. Okay?
He gets the evil eye right away. Somebody says Mexican, everybody just looks right at him.
Intern beer. Oh, thank you, Mr. Intern.
No problem. You gotta water the tree every now and then.
Yeah, speaking of watering the tree, that is going to happen very soon.
And speaking of that, that'll give us perfect time to go straight back to our sponsor. This is the Beer Hour with Trevor Gold, Al Money, and the Intern.
I'll travel is still a mystery to me. So I'll just sit right here, have another beer in Mexico. Do my best, waste another day.
And we're back with the Beer Hour, Trevor Gold, Al Money, and the Intern. Just reminding everybody that if you are listening to the show, email us at thebeerhour@hotmail.com and name our intern.
You know, back to the last segment, this is still really bothering me about the whole Mexican thing. Just because I tan better than everybody else, it's ridiculous. Just because I tan great, I look sexy in a Speedo, doesn't mean you guys have to sit here and criticize me.
I just threw up a little in my mouth.
Still choking that one down yet.
Okay, maybe sexy in a Speedo was a little too far, but it's not right.
You guys, did I ever mention the time I was living with this girl?
No, what
No.
girl?
Well, I was living with this girl for a few months. Then she found out I was living there, and kicked me out. And she found apparently hiding in the shower with a bouquet of flowers is not a turn on for a lady, and so she kicked me out. Well, I think it's about time we move on to sports, and right now we're going to go out to our very own Stewie Bushman, who is never in the studio. I don't know why he's never in the studio.
I think the intern just shit himself.
Do we have to change you?
You might. Yes, you might.
All right, and we're going to the phones here. Stewie Bushman, you are on the air. And how long have you been on hold?
You guys have had me on for about half an hour now, so...
So pretty much the entire length of the show you've been on hold.
You guys told me to call up right away, and... yeah, I didn't answer.
Well, sorry we didn't get to you right away.
That damn intern put me on hold.
Bad intern. Bad. Give me another beer. No, I don't need another beer. All right, so Stewie.
So I hear you guys are having named the intern, too. Just like Fox Sports did during their NASCAR broadcast.
Really?
Yeah, they named their gopher Digger.
That's creative.
Exactly. Very, very creative. And what
No,
did
they get a gopher for a camera and they name it Digger. Honestly, couldn't you think of anything better than Digger? Couldn't you name it like Sal or Tommy or Biscuit. Come on.
Biscuit the Gopher. That's a good one.
All right, Stu. So, you got sports for us today? Oh, wait. Did you have a name for the intern?
I can't think of one right now, no.
Well, if you do think of one, we'll get back to you.
I'll let you know.
Even if we have to put you on hold for another 30 minutes.
Then I can really think of a name for the intern.
All right. So, we got sports. What do you got for us today?
Well, in NASCAR, since the last show, we've had 3 races. We've had Daytona, California, and now Vegas. Winner of Daytona was Ryan Newman. That's just great, yeah. California, we had Carl Edwards. And in Las Vegas, we had Carl Edwards, which Kyle Busch dominated the whole race in a Toyota. We all hate it.
Really? You do hate it.
You're talking about California. He dominated the race, right?
Both. Them Toyotas are doing damn good this year.
Why do you think that is?
Well, when NASCAR gives them 15 more horse than everybody else. Pretty easy.
So wait a second. Toyotas have more horsepower than the rest of the field?
Yeah, it's a crock, yeah. A Chevy should be winning everything, but they haven't won yet.
So that's why the Toyotas are so much faster than everybody else.
That's pretty much it. Explains it.
Okay. Now, Stu, if it's not too much to ask, who's your favorite driver?
None other than Junior, the new 88 amp car. Gordon's arch rival, but now teammate.
And speaking of Gordon, I did happen to catch the end of the last race. My favorite driver happens to be Matt Kenseth. I'm from Wisconsin. Kenseth is a Wisconsin native himself. Who happened to spin him out with 6 laps? 6 laps to go.
Oh, with 6 to go, we had a caution, had a restart. Junior was second, hoping to get a run. Eventual race winner, Carl Edwards, spun his tires a little. Matt Kenseth went to the high side, took advantage. Gordon went low. Gordon, driver that he is, lost control on the bottom, spun out, hit Matt Kenseth, sending him around. Jeff Gordon pounds the wall.
Pounds the wall.
His radiator went sliding 200 feet if anybody missed it. That's how hard he hit.
It was quite the sight to see. The only reason we're getting so far into it is because Al's favorite driver happens to be
The one and only Jeff Gordon.
yes.
Arguably the best NASCAR driver ever.
I heard an interesting story about Gordon this week. Did you know when he was younger, he used to have his sister come to the racetracks, present him with the trophy, because he didn't want any other girls kissing him when he won the race.
Wow.
Yeah, he actually had his sister kiss him after he won the race.
Okay, and Stu, I don't know how much talking you're doing. Where you're on the road? Is that correct?
I'm on the road, yes.
Are
I'm in
you-
New England right now, heading up the report of Randy Moss signing his 3-year extension with the Patriots.
Yeah. Now, what's the deal with that? I really want to know. I mean, just this morning I was listening to the radio and everybody's like, "Oh, Randy Moss, free agency. Pat's not going to sign him." And then, we got a bunch of different teams looking at him. I know that he talked to Dante Culpepper saying he wanted to get back with him, and that would be going to the Raiders again, right?
So where are you heading after you go through New England there, Chief?
I was thinking about taking a spin down to Miami. It's kind of nice and warm down there. Spend a few days down there.
Are you going to talk to the Big Tuna?
That's who I was hoping to talk to.
So you want to go to Miami? Is there anything in particular besides the big tuna that you want to, that you want to accomplish in Miami? Is there any sporting things that you can report for us?
How about you swing down to spring training for the part of the American and National League down in Florida? How about you do that?
I suppose I could do that too as long as I'm down there.
See now, were you planning on making a trip to any more? You were talking about the NASCAR races. Were you at each of these NASCAR races?
No, I was not.
Really? What are we paying you for?
Well, you guys ain't paying me enough to buy a ticket for the race, so I figured I'd watch it on my TV. As soon as I get a raise here and a new vehicle, I'm driving around this 88 Oldsmobile, so...
Well, we're doing a free... Did you just say 88 Oldsmobile?
Yes, I did. Best car out there.
Okay, since we're doing a free podcast, you probably won't get paid, but it's 88 Oldsmobile.
Best car in 88. Just like the 88. No, wait, just thought I'd throw that in there. Not the 24.
Hey, after Miami, were you thinking about going to Arizona to check out the Brewers or what?
Why would I check out the Brewers now? Being that I'm a Cards fan and all, why would I check out the Brewers?
Well, because I recall last year we all went down to a Brewers game and we were playing quarters. And I thought maybe you'd want to get a jump this year because last year you kind of lost your ass. So I thought maybe you'd want to partake in a little bit of checking out spring training, see how your guys are doing and all that, you know. Because I recall last year you took a young rookie one day and he didn't quite perform as you would have liked him to, and I recall I took him the next day and he performed quite well for me, if I recall that right. Am I recalling that right?
That'd be right.
Wait, would that happen to be the same weekend that you kicked me out of the bed?
Yeah, that's the same weekend, yeah.
You remember that? Remember that, Stu? You were there. Kicked me out of my bed.
I had no sexual relations with these two.
All right, Stu, it was great talking to you. We might come back to you later, so just stay on hold.
If it takes me all night long, gonna get my drink on. Drink on. Yeah. Gonna get my drink on.
Okay, and we're back with the beer hour, and it is the beer hour for a reason. We are currently drinking our Busch Light, and let's get a beer count. What are we at so far, Al? What are you at?
I think I'm on 6. I think.
6? I'm at a good 4. I'm on number 4 right
What's
now.
the internet?
I'm at about 5 here in between everything.
Okay, he's at 5. So I'm a little behind. So got to get moving.
And don't forget, if you do want to email the show, we're at the beer hour at hotmail.com.
That's correct. And on top of that, besides naming our intern, there is one other thing we talked about last week, and that was our stories line, where we want you to tell us any of your favorite drinking stories, any of your favorite drunk stories, anytime you may have blacked out and woke up next to this 300-pound woman, had to tiptoe across the floor, hope the floorboards don't creak, and all you could say is, oh, shit.
All right, I got another good one. So, me and the intern were at a gathering. Okay, correction. Started out as a gathering last weekend. And I had to work, so I was leaving at 7 o'clock. We got there at 3 o'clock. I'm gone by 7. That's what I said. I was sticking to it. So we started playing this game. They call it beer pong.
Best drinking game alive so far, except for the Lazy Man's drinking game,
Yeah.
which we created in
Yes.
Al's basement.
Yes. But anyway, so we're going to play this beer pong game, and it's just me, the intern, and 2 other people. So we start playing. It's like 4 in the afternoon. So we play all the way up until I think about 7 o'clock, game after game. We didn't stop. Maybe just take a pee here and there. So we by 7 o'clock, we consumed a bit of alcohol. So now the party's starting to show at about 8 o'clock. I think I don't exactly remember. So we're still. I think we quit playing once the people started showing up. And by the way, let me explain. Me and the intern, we only lost 2 games all night.
Out of 15.
Out of about 15. And when we lost, it was a total fluke because we played the same people for 3 hours, and those are the only 2 people we lost to. So it must have been later on in the night. I was pretty shit hammered. So we got challenged by a couple other of our friends, and they wanted to challenge us just because obviously they could tell I was drunk. So they're like, "Oh well, cakewalk." So needless to say, me and the intern ended up winning, and the people we played were pretty pissed because I was having a problem standing, much less throwing the ball. So they the whole time we were playing them, they're like, "Oh, these guys shouldn't even be in the game, blah, blah, blah. We should be kicking their ass." And I'm thinking, yeah, they probably should be kicking our ass, and me and the intern are just hanging in there, getting our stuff ready just to pummel them at the end. All right, we weren't really getting ready to pummel them, but they let us hang around.
Just having a good old backwoods
Good old
Southern
time.
boys time.
Yes, yes. So we get done playing, and at that point, I don't exactly remember what happened all after that, but it wasn't a good night after that. And it wasn't a good day Saturday when I had to work at 6 a.m. Everybody else didn't quite
And,
have to do that.
and how'd your girlfriend take
We're not
the
even
whole
going to get
thing?
into that. We're not even going to go down that road tonight. I don't really feel we should. 'Cause it wasn't exactly smart what I did.
No, we
I
won't get
totally
into
agree
it.
with her. I do. And we're not going down that
We're
road.
we're not just
At
for
least
the
you can
fact
admit
that
it.
I admitted it.
just for
I
the
admit
fact
my
that
wrongness.
your girlfriend may listen to the show and may kick all our asses.
I hope she doesn't, because she will kick all of our asses.
Yes, she will. Even the mention.
mean-
we don't even have to give a name. She
I mean,
knows what we're talking about.
we're all full-grown men here. We're all 2 bills or more, and she will walk all up in here weighing her 130 pounds of pure evil muscle and whip all our asses. Okay,
She's wiry. Wiry.
wiry?
Wiry.
No, she's muscle. She's muscle. She'd give me a black eye if she didn't even want to, which I'm still thinking she did. With my eye hurting, I really think she did hit me in the face. I can't prove that, but I have suspicion. Okay? It's either that or I really have this really bad sinus infection, or sinus pressure. And I'm sticking to the story that she punched me in the face. Because she was pretty pissed at me. So it's either she punched me in the face or I actually do have this whole sinus thing. Okay, what do you think, Trev?
Honestly, knowing her, she probably hit you in the face.
Intern?
Well, after she bought you that nice recliner. I mean, she probably didn't hit you.
Well, let's go to Stu Bushman and see what he thinks. Stu, you're on the air. Do you think?
Well, it's about damn time I'm back on the air.
Calm down. We just want you to answer one question. Do you think Al's girlfriend hit him in the face?
No doubt, she lit him up.
Okay, thank you. Put you back on hold.
See, the thing about that is I can't prove it.
And I think that's her biggest weapon there. There's no way to prove it. And then if you were to say that, oh, she hit me in the face, they'll look at you and they'll look at her and they'll just laugh.
I already accused her of doing it, and she says no, it's probably when I ran into the wall. And I'm thinking to myself, well, I don't remember running into the wall,
And you
so I
wouldn't
don't
remember.
think I did it.
You wouldn't remember running to the wall either.
No,
but-
apparently I ran into like 3 walls, and I'm thinking there's only like 3 walls where I live. I don't know how many more I could have ran into, but there's no marks. It's not black. It's not swollen. I don't know. Maybe it is just that whole sinus thing.
It very well could be. I'll tell you what, for the courtesy of our podcast provider, we're going to take a quick break so that they can identify themselves.
You can't hear me.
Hey, intern, you wanna give me a beer? Are we back? Hey, we're back, and this is the Beer Hour with Trevor Gold, Al Money, and the intern. And yes, we are still hoping for you to email us at thebeerhour@hotmail.com. That's our email address. Name our intern, and I don't know.
Drunken stories.
And very much so. That's one other thing they have to email us is the drunken stories, or just anything. If you have any comments on the show, I mean, if you say you hate the show, you don't ever want to listen to it again, that's fine. We're not going to read it on the air unless we think it's funny, or if it's in any interest to us, because pretty much your opinion doesn't matter unless we like it.
Oh, definitely.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because we're going to run the show on pretty much until we get sick of running the show or we die, one or the other.
Absolutely.
Intern, how long has Bushman been on hold?
He's been on hold at least 15 minutes now. So
Well, since the last time we brought him in?
Yeah.
Is
Let's keep him on hold for a while yet.
is he getting angry at us that we're leaving him on hold for this long?
I haven't really checked the phone line, so I wouldn't really know that.
You don't even know if he's still on hold?
I'm sure he is. He ain't gonna leave.
He has nothing better to do.
I mean, cruising all over the states here. He's in New England right now. What do you do in New England?
No, better yet, what state is he actually in? Intern, ask Bushman what state he's actually in.
Yeah, okay. We're going to the lines right now. Get him on right now. Okay, Stewie Bushman, you are on the air, and our question was, I'm sure you heard it. We've got a little satellite feed for you in your little what vehicle are you driving?
My 88 Oldsmobile.
That's right, your 88 Oldsmobile. And how's your satellite feed working? Can you hear us pretty good?
You guys are a little fuzzy. You cut out once in a while for a while. I don't know. You must be talking about me or something.
Yeah, and we're running. The strange thing is, it's a free podcast. How in the hell can we pay for a satellite feed? I mean, we're losing money on this here. But what state are you in?
Well, according to that sign, I just entered Maine, so I think I took a wrong turn a little far. Might have to turn this bad boy around and head back.
You're in Maine.
Well, that's what the sign said.
What city in Maine?
It just said Maine. You are now entering Maine.
Oh, okay. Well, why don't you make a U-E and just head right back toward New England. All right, and we're gonna put you back on hold. Okay. Al, he is aware that New England isn't a state, right?
To be honest with you, I don't think you were aware that New England wasn't a state, much less Stu, because the way you guys were talking. Well, see, in our recording studio, I was in the bathroom, and we have.
How does that matter? You were in the bathroom. There's a recording studio in the bathroom now?
No. We have speakers all over the place. So wherever you are, you can hear the show.
Why do you lie? Last show, you called me the chronic liar. Do you think we can afford to put speakers in the bathroom? This isn't the man cave
Okay,
yet.
so I was sitting here listening, and I was honestly wondering whether either one of them knew that New England wasn't a state before they went on this. I honestly was. I don't know.
I knew it wasn't a state. I just don't know, how.
What do you? Okay, so what you're wondering is what do you classify New England? Is what you're saying? What states are New England? Is what you're wondering?
Yeah.
Let's go back to fourth grade.
Oh, do you know that?
Shut up, intern. Let's go back to fourth grade and think about this. Well, I'm gonna imagine you got anything, intern? I'm at a loss here. I'm thinking Massachusetts, New York, maybe.
New York.
Rhode Island, New Hampshire, Vermont. I'm thinking Maine is probably part of that. Am I missing anything here? If you're listening to us on the East Coast, I'm sorry. We're backwoods Southern boys. We really weren't paying attention back in school.
Yeah. I mean, if you live in Maine and you still you're considered New England, I am sorry, but Maine's
New England.
Maine.
Isn't it like right there, like the New York line there north?
Maine is up here.
Yeah, it's like the furthest state up to the north. I realize that.
Okay.
Toweling off.
Well, we'll just change the subject before we make ourselves look like complete asses, I mean, we're already crossed that line, so now we're just becoming ignorant asses. And there's just no room for that in radio.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Totally agree. We need to clean our act up.
That's not going to happen, is it?
Yeah, I was just going to say, fuck that. That really ain't happening.
All right. We're nearing the end of our show, and we always like to either start or end with a good story of some kind. Words of wisdom. Some words of wisdom like what Al just said.
Let me tell you what.
Wait. I've got one quick idea. We all could agree on here. It's time to put in a dip. We're all putting in a dip.
Okay. If this offends anybody, I'm going to apologize. and then I'm going to say go fuck yourself because this is our show. If you want to listen to it, go ahead. If you don't, well, we really don't care because we're not getting paid for this. This is on my time. This is on Trevor's time. This is on, well, the intern's
The intern
time.
doesn't really have time. Well, he
So-
has plenty of time, so there's no time
yeah, and then
to waste.
Stu, I think Stu is still on hold, and he's probably listening to this saying, "Them sons of bitches."
In his 88 Oldsmobile.
Yeah. Hey, intern, spitter, please. Thank you, intern.
I mean, really, if you're listening to the show, I mean, and by all means, listen to the show. It makes us feel good. I mean, especially, I know I've got, my friend out there in the Twin Cities that's listening to the show, which I think is, I mean, even if it's one guy, I mean, think about it. We're in the Twin Cities. They're hearing us in the Twin
Actually,
Cities.
to be honest with you, we're like global, because anybody can listen to this.
Well, this is true, anybody. But I looked at the counter. There was 3 people. 2 of them I know was me. One was in the Twin Cities. So, for God's sake, I feel honored that we're in the Twin Cities.
That means we're like bi-state right here. We got 2 states rolling with this shit.
This is true. Well, if I can get our stuff on iTunes, we should be
Good as gold.
good as gold. I'm saying, yeah, we should be good as gold right there.
All right, another question I have for our listeners is radio voices. It's a poll question here. Who's got the best radio voice between Trevor, me, Al, and Stu? Intern doesn't count.
Well, Stu, it's not really fair unless we can get him
Oh, he'll eventually be in the studio. It's bound to happen.
after his nationwide road trip to
Yeah.
Maine.
New England. It's bound to happen. He's bound to show up sometime. So, another question. If you're going to email us, you might as well go the whole way and say that one of us has the best radio voice. And I know what your answer is going to be. It's going to be Trevor.
Actually,
but please, if somebody just votes for me, it'll make my day.
but
It'll make me go through one more
Maybe-
day where I won't hang myself.
maybe it's just me because I don't like listening to myself on the radio. I don't like listening to myself at all. I listen to it and I think, Al's got the best radio voice. And
No, see, I have a sexy voice.
well,
I'm
maybe
like-
that's why.
See, you have a good radio voice. Intern, what do you think?
You've
Trevor's got
no opinion. You're the intern.
No, I'm asking him. Trevor's got the best radio voice, right?
Trevor, shut up. Stewie has the best radio voice.
Intern,
A vote for Stu.
that kind of throws a wrench. So basically, Trevor, you're voting for me. Intern's voting for Stu, and I'm voting for you.
Well, you know what that is, guys? That's a soch. Everybody drink.
Oh, son of a bitch. That's a soch.
Oh, that tastes good tonight.
It does. It's flowing. Oh, good push.
And, since we're nearing the end of the show, I decided to I just heard this joke today. Actually, I got a text message from one of my friends. And he sent me this text message, and it goes, yeah, I'm sorry. Just live with it. Live with it, guys.
No, the whole show, we must have been doing this for probably an hour already. And every time you look at Trevor, he's got his right hand on his dick and balls, like in his pants.
It's my comfort zone.
Okay, and me and the intern are sitting here. We're talking during breaks, and I wasn't going to say anything. And finally, during the last break, I finally said something to Trevor. I'm like, dude, what is your problem? What are you doing? You keep grabbing your cock. And he's like, no, it's actually my balls. And the intern's like, well, you got to say that. And I'm like, well, I didn't want to embarrass him. And then I finally
to
thought,
be
okay,
perfectly honest,
okay, no, I wasn't going to say anything if he quit doing it. But soon as we come back on, he's just grabbing all up in that shit again. And I had to say something. It's not right. I can't take it anymore.
and the reason being, I got a free hand. What am I going to do with it?
Hold your beer.
That's one hand.
Switch hands.
I'm just going to keep going back and forth. I'll hold it with both hands. Here we go.
There you go. Double clutch it.
Well, I'm wondering what kind of disease he might have got from delivering all them TVs and refrigerators. with all
Intern,
them
beer
old
me.
ladies.
Watch yourself, intern. Oh, thank you, intern.
But that being said,
You want me to open it?
I got a text message. I got a text message from one of my buddies, and
One of your buddies?
one of my colleagues.
Associates.
Yeah, there we go. And he said,
What? He said what? Honestly, if I swear to God, if I see you grab your nutsack one more time, I'm going to kick you in your nutsack.
"Hey, be grateful I'm not whipping it out, Mr. Beer Pong Distractor."
Okay. Remember earlier in the show I was talking about playing beer pong the other night? And, anything's game to distract the other team. And,
No matter how cruel and unusual the
Exactly.
distraction is.
Exactly. So one of the guys, all you had to do is snap your fingers, he would miss. Honestly, I've never seen anything like it in my day.
That's like the worst player to have on your team.
No,
too.
so the other guy, I'm snapping my fingers, I'm clapping my hands, I'm shaking my head, I'm hooting, I'm hollering. I can't get him to miss. So I'm very comfortable with my sexuality.
Yeah, we discussed this last week.
So we're playing, and I'm like, hey, what if I whip out my cock? Not gay, but more along the lines of throwing the other guy off. So I whipped it out once. He made it. I'm thinking, oh, he must have ignored me. Next time I do it, I'm flopping it all over the table. And it's kind of hard to flop 2 inches all over the table, but I was doing it. So I'm
It's like
doing
a
this.
cheese wheel, really.
And he makes it again. And I'm thinking, okay, maybe this isn't the ticket. So I stopped doing it. The more I drink, the more I want to whip it back out and throw him off his game.
Isn't that
So-
the truth?
So I do it again. And I swear, every time I did it, I'd snap my fingers for the first guy, he'd miss. The second guy, I'd whip it out, he'd make it. Now, he's not gay. I know this, but he might be confused, if you know what I'm saying. I mean, I don't know. What do you think, intern? What do you think? Okay, Trevor, if we're playing beer pong, you and another guy and me and the intern, I whip my cock out on the table. Could you honestly make a shot? No
Well,
matter.
I really
no
don't
mat-
count, though, because I've got nerves of steel when it comes to beer pong. And I'll put it in perspective. I was playing down in Madison, and there was a fairly attractive lady on the other side of the table. And she was, like, pulling down her shirt and, like, whipping them out for me. I'm just nailing shots. I mean, I got perfect concentration when it comes to beer pong. So,
Okay.
I'm not
Okay,
affected.
that's different because that's a woman. Think of her.
How is it different? If it's a woman, I should be distracted.
dude.
If it's you, for God's sake.
No, you're of course you're gonna look at it first, and you're gonna be like, oh, I got some shooting to do. You see a guy on the other end of the table, just whipping out his pecker. You're like, dude, you got a little pecker, and then second of all, you're whipping it out here. Honestly,
To be perfectly honest, I'd be wondering what touched that table before he threw his pecker on the table. That's what I was wondering.
yeah, but that's not an issue because, well, it's not. But you honestly think you could make a shot with somebody doing that?
I'm a whole
Okay,
different
okay.
breed.
You could make more than one. Consistently shoot when somebody and you.
And
okay,
I'd probably be laughing, so
not-
probably miss.
not
but
the fact that they're
only
whipping
that
it
'cause
out.
it's like 2 inches. But
I mean, it'd be different if they just out of the blue whipped it out and just let it hang there. But I mean, grabbing the fucker and slapping shit and hitting cups and dipping it in a beer cup. Honestly, could you
dipping it in the beer cup.
could you shoot though?
Dipping it.
I
You
didn't
know you
dip-
gotta
I
drink
did-
it.
I didn't dip it in a beer cup, but could you shoot? Is my question here.
Well, no.
Exactly.
If you're
so-
dipping it in the beer cup,
I'm
I'm
not
thinking
dipping-
I
I'm
better
just
make the
saying.
shot. And in fact, if you dipped it in that cup, I want to hit that cup because then you have to drink
I'm
it.
just saying. Could you?
It'd be very difficult.
No, you couldn't. Exactly. I'm lost. I don't know what to say anymore.
In fact, I think we're going to go straight to Stu Bushman. Okay, Stu. I'm sure you've heard the conversation, but we just want to make sure you know that Al had been talking about whipping out his junk and flopping it on the table. If you're playing beer pong, would you be distracted by that?
Well, from what I hear, I'm pretty sure I'm glad I'm not in that office right now.
Why is that, Stu?
Well, with people flopping their dicks out, the other one grabbing their nuts. Safe bet I'm in this car right now.
No, see, Stu, we're not whipping our cock out now. It was the other weekend when I was playing beer pong with the intern, is what we're talking about.
Oh, I see. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I couldn't make that shot. I'm with Trevor here. I got nerves to steel, but if I seen a dick touching the top of a cup, and I'm throwing a little tiny ball at it,
See, but can't you see what I'm saying? If you see that dick hit that cup, and if it's still got beer in it, you want to hit that cup so that guy has to drink that cup that his cock just touched. He's sucking his own cock in theory. He's tossing his own salad.
isn't there a rule though? If that ball hits his dick before it hits any cups, that's an automatic drink. So maybe I'll just go whip it at it. See if I can
If
hit
it's
it.
across the plane.
Yeah, but you got to remember, that's a hard target. 2 inches at 8 feet. That's pretty hard to hit with a ping pong.
It's actually pretty
ball,
amazing that he can even reach the cups.
That is amazing. How could he reach the top of the cup with a 2-inch dick? That wouldn't even cover the top of the cup.
And I'm reminding our listeners right now, this is not an under 18 show. And if your kids were listening to this whole ordeal, one, you're a horrible parent. Why?
Al, is he grabbing his nuts right now, Al?
No, he's not grabbing his nuts anymore. He kind of quit ever since I really called him out before.
Yeah. It was fun. But what a week. Like I was saying, if you, as I was saying, if your kids were in the room while you're listening to this podcast, you're a horrible parent, because I've specifically wrote down on the website, and I can pull it up right here, saying that this is not.
Trevor, we don't want no pulling up right now.
Lord, do we have to put you back on hold? No, intern, put him back on hold.
No way.
Fine. Don't listen to me. But your kids should not be listening to the show. I wrote down on there it's an 18 and over show, and it's just not appropriate. You're a horrible parent, and you should be ashamed if your kids are listening to this.
Yeah, but Trevor, you got to remember, there's high school kids who's going to find this totally hilarious. So you really, I mean, honestly, if you were in high school and you stumbled upon something like this, you would listen to it. I would listen to it. The intern would listen to it. Stu would listen to it. It's just everybody would listen to it. It's just that kind of way.
Yeah. Well, not gonna fault the whole system here.
Don't
where
get caught.
That's pretty much the way it goes. If you don't get caught, you can do whatever you want. It's just like them porn sites on the internet. They all say when you walk up to the porn site, it goes, you click, it says you must be 18. Are you over 18? Anybody with a brain, doesn't matter how old you are going to click yes, and then there you go. So it's very, I don't know if it's a flawed system, if there's a way to get some kind of protection against it. The blame rests with the parents. If you're not paying attention to what your children are doing, that's what's going to happen. And that's my whole philosophical rant on the whole thing.
Trevor,
Bear me, intern.
you have to remember that sometimes it's just not the parents' fault. Why are we even getting into this?
I didn't want to, but ever since you said you're grabbing your nuts, I was just like, you know what? I'm going to go there, because if you're under 18, you shouldn't be listening to me grabbing my nuts. We're going to go to another quick break, and we'll get back to you as soon as possible.
If it takes me all night long, gonna get my drink on. Yeah, I'm gonna get my drink on.
Okay, and we're back, and we have a limited time here. We're going to go right into rapid. We're going to go right into our rapid question section here, and our first question to recap: what do you tip a prostitute?
Nothing.
Okay. The next: why was I grabbing my balls? Honestly,
No clue.
no clue. And do you think that whipping a cock out on the table during beer pong is going to be a distraction?
Yes.
Yes, I'll have to agree with that. And I just checked our ticker right before we came back from break, and it looks like that we've got somebody from, actually, it's our buddy from overseas. He is tuned in to our show, which means we're global.
Pretty on, Trevor.
Yeah, party on there, Al. This was the Beer Hour. We're glad you tuned in. Please tune in again for next week.
Thank you. Drink safe, chew safe, drive safe. Good night.
That's great, guys.
If it takes me all night long, gonna get my drink on. Drink on. Yeah. I'm gonna get my drink on.